So today on fish species, um, it's been a while since we've even made one of these, so coming back fresh and new. And this one's gonna be quite like a little remake because I've actually done this fish already, and it got a lot of views, but at the same time it got a lot of dislikes. It got barely no likes, and I think it got about 60 dislikes and about 10 likes, something crazy like that. But it was on the Amazon puffer, and I totally get why it was not the most likable video because I didn't have an Amazon puffer and no editing. Not like it's any different now, but at least I actually have an Amazon puffer right in front of me, so that makes a difference. So before we start, if you want to donate, it's in the description. And thank you for Bob for donating $10 to me. I think 2 nights ago or yesterday night. Um, so I'm gonna put his channel down in the description. He doesn't have a channel yet, but he's thinking about it. So if you just want to sub him, never know. So thanks, Bob, and that money's gonna definitely get put to good use in the future with this new tank. So right into this video. Get down on my knees so you guys can get the close-up shots you guys always want. So Amazon puffer, what is it? It's it's a freshwater puffer, and yes, there is freshwater puffers. If you're watching this and you didn't know that, there's actually quite a variety of freshwater puffers, and this video actually could apply to a lot of them. But there's certain needs for an Amazon puffer that it's quite different, and I will describe those later on. So Amazon puffer, it comes from the South Americans, like a lot of other more rare wild caught fish come from, and that's another thing. This fish is wild caught, so we'll talk about more of that later on. But they come from the rivers of the Amazon in different regions, but mostly in the South American area, and that's the only area they are found. Now, Amazon puffers, you might Google them, like you might see videos on them and really think they're really cool looking, and you want one yourself. But you Google them and there's like no info, there's like no websites to buy them off of, and you might be wondering like why is it not like existent on the internet? And that's because this puffer is actually pretty rare, and I'm pretty sure if I'm right, the rankings for rarest puffer on the planet, this one's ranked at number 2, and number 1's the Shoot Didn't Die, and which is a future puffer I will have. And so the Amazon puffer, it's really hard to get. First of all, it's a fairly small puffer. It will get big over time, but usually you buy them small, and they have to catch these from the rivers. So you can imagine like how hard it is to catch from a huge river, try to get a species that rarely can even be found, and trying to get one of these guys. So you know, and when you do find one, they seem to be actually not pricey that much. Usually you can get one for about $20-$30, and I had to pay ridiculous shipping, so I paid lots of money for mine. But you know the the reason they're so actually fairly affordable, I can't answer that, but they are hard to come by and they do go quick. They're only out about once a year. I would say between January and about March, that's when you see them kind of open up in the sales. And if you do see one and you want one, get one because they're going to be gone. And I got lucky to even get mine, but they are so rare after those months. They're just gone. They're usually only out for about a month online, as I see. So Amazon puffer, let's talk about, some features. They'll get about 3.5 inches in an aquarium. They are known to get about 5. That's, not a lot of people even keep them for that long for them to even get that big. So that's why me keeping this one for a very long time, I'm doing studies on it to see like its growth patterns, and I'll eventually see how big mine gets over, the past 3. And over time, I'm gonna see, the patterns of the growth and just see, how big it grows every year. And I already measured it when I first got it. It's about 1 inch right now. So about every 6 months, I'll measure the growth. Maybe even shorter than that, maybe every 3 months. But this puffer won't grow very fast. It's gonna grow about 1 inch a year at the most. So, you can't really expect it to, get very large in your aquarium because not a lot of people even will keep this fish that long, and it might just end up dying, sadly. So me keeping this for a very long time is basically for scientific study basically. You know, I'm gonna have a lot of information by the time I'm done with this fish, or at least by the time it's, you know, not alive no more, which would probably be a very long time, and that brings into lifespan. These puffers, they're kind of unknown. That's the crazy part. Kind of on my finger. The most puffers like this, probably about 5 to 10 years, I would say. They're pretty, you know, it's hard to say, but expect 5 to 10 years in a good, you know, well-established aquarium. You know, somebody that takes real good care. 5 10 years, I would say. But for some people, a couple of years is max for them, which is, you know, sad because it's such a rare fish, and you know you don't want to see more and more die. But that's just how it is. So, you know, when it comes to aquariums, I would say at the minimum 20. Now, this is a 20-gallon, but the reason I'm kind of getting away with it is because it's the only fish in here. There's some autocinklus, but it's a species-only tank. So when they say like, oh, minimum 50 gallons, well, the reason they say that is because they expect you to have more fish in there. Like they expect you to have, you know, other fish in there with it. So nobody ever has just a species-only fish um, tank. So that's what they have to factor in. So if you have it by itself, 20 will be fine. But if you have it with other fish, definitely 30, 40, probably 30 minimum. But I would say anything bigger, at least 30 or 40, in my opinion. And make sure it's planted, or at least if you don't have it planted, at least have some place where it can hide, because it is gets shy and it will get frightened very easily at first. Once it gets used to the tank, it settles down quite a bit. But you know, a freaked out fish will get very stressed very quickly and can end up with death, which I've seen many times. So it can definitely happen, especially with a small fish like this. It will definitely happen. One thing to note is these puffers will jump. I've experienced that twice now, and that's the reason I have this hood on here now. Um, they will jump pretty high. They will get jumped when they're scared. They will jump just because they want to jump. So they're just like fish in a lake. You see them jump out of the water. That's what a puffer will do. They'll just jump just to jump. So, I mean, mostly just to catch food, but they'll jump just, you know, just to jump. So, and most of the time it'll happen in like the corners. Like they'll go up to a corner and jump. So just be aware of that when you have like any small puffer, you know, this one in particular. Feeding wise, now I kind of just made a video on this, so if you want to check that out, links in the description. But feeding them, start off with bloodworms, get them to feed it. With them being wild caught, it's gonna be hard to kind of feed them at first, but bloodworms will definitely get them eating, and it'll do perfectly fine. Get them fat bellies, just getting them healthy and at least eating, so they can at least get a diet going. And eventually you want to get them on clams. Now the reason for that is because clams, they have the hard shell around them, and when they're biting on the clams, like if they're biting the clams, their teeth are gonna get around that shell, and their teeth are gonna hit that shell, and that's gonna help sharpen their teeth. And the Amazon puffer is known for having super fast-growing teeth out of all the puffers, one of the fastest. So if you're not precautious of that, they will get overgrown teeth, and that will lead them to not be able to eat because their teeth are so big. And like my puffer, I got lucky. I can see him actually gnawing on the rock sometimes to trim his own teeth. So you might get lucky and get a puffer that's pretty smart and realizes it needs, you know, to trim its teeth here and there. So I've seen my puffer do it, but don't rely on that. So you do need to give them clams and stuff like that. And if they do get too long, you do have to trim the teeth manually. You have to, you know, knock the fish out with clove oil and some water, and you know, go in there with a tool and trim their teeth. And there might be a video on that in the future if I have to do that, so you guys will definitely see that happen if I, you know, get to that point. But get some close shots. I know I haven't really been getting too close. So right now, obviously I said about 1 inch right now. It's kind of getting a little frightened with the big old camera. But also puffers, especially small ones, they do like a lot of flow. Not extremely like a lot, but you definitely want something like a small, like this skimmer, blows out air, so just something that can give a little bit of air. They like swimming through that, and um, it gets them kind of thinking. It just kind of it's kind of something they like to play with. They like really going through them streams because in the Amazon, that's something they really do is those fast moving waters. So it kind of just creates their natural environment just a little bit better. But you got now to kind of talk about their coloration on their body. They are kind of known as the bumblebee puffer. That's kind of a nickname. They are nicknamed that because they're yellow and black, you know, patterns on themselves. They got kind of a go back and forth between black and yellow, and they got the white bellies with the golden eyes, which looks pretty cool when it gets pretty up close to you and it's looking stared when it stares right at you. The eyes are really attracting, or I guess attractive. I mean to say, but you know. That's basically the Amazon puffer. I mean, it's definitely a harder fish to keep. You got to have perfect parameters. I mean, you can't have a tank that's fluctuating all the time. You got to have something that's stable constantly because these fish will not be able to handle anything crazy. And, with such a rare fish, you want to be able to keep it for a long time and give it a nice life because maybe down the road this fish won't even exist on the planet no more. It might be extinct. So, me trying to, get all the information I can out of it is going to really help, kind of give more people an idea of all about this puffer because not a lot of people keep them for a very long time. And, I plan to keep this puffer for, its full life. How many years that is, I don't know yet, but, let's hope I can grow it out to a very large size that nobody has before. And see how that goes. But yeah, that's the Amazon puffer. I hope you guys, really like this video. I hope, the, you know, the like button is pushed more this time. And, I'll probably, delete the other one just so, it don't get mixed up because they're probably going to have the same thumbnail and everything. But other than that, if you want to donate, down in the description, again, thanks to Bob for, helping us out there for because that money's definitely going to go towards the 30 long that we're going to set up in the new house. And other than that, got any recommendations for videos, put that down below. And other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.